Hey everybody, Mikeycat Outdoors here. So what are we doing today? I'm just doing a little check out of some gear that I've had laying around for a while and just doing some updates and testing and whatnot. So behind me I got one of the first generation Durston X-Mid Pro 2 Dyneema shelters, and it didn't come with any pockets in the first gen. They did make some little door pockets in the second generation iteration of it. But that was always one of my downfalls with this tent, was where do you store little knickknacks. So I got a few items that I'll show you inside there. And I also got another item in there that I was testing out last night, just seeing how warm it is, how it performs. So let's go check it out. Alright, here's my Durston. So, welcome to Shangri-La. Let's see, the first thing I got in here, I got a ZenBivy. Yeah. So, I was testing this out last night. This one's rated down to 10 degrees. So, I've got a Nemo Tensor orange pad there. It's a 25-inch width. And they were having, at the end of 24, they were having a sale on these little semi-insulated and non-insulated little pad sheets. So this is kind of the heart of the system, is a pad sheet. So that just goes over your pad almost like a fitted sheet would on your bed. But they got these little wings here, and these wings have color-coded little hook tabs to them. This is the light one. The other ones that they have zippers, but these ones have the hooks. And then accordingly on the quilt, you've got these color-coded little loops. So you can buy loops from places like Zpacks that you can basically just tape on there, and it's just like a little DCF patch that's got a little hook loop on it. And you could do that on a regular quilt and just offset this about, I don't know, 9 inches or so, depending on the width of your quilt. And you just space these out. I think there was a guy online that did these, and they're roughly, I think, about 8 inches apart. You measure it before you do it, obviously, but then you just basically can hook those in. And what this does is kind of keeps this bottom part of the quilt wrapped under you, and that way it kind of cocoons around you like a sleeping bag a little bit. Down here on the bottom of this guy, I didn't notice it last night, but I noticed it today. There was a hook here that I hooked on, and there was a couple of additional loops down here. So if you've got a regular hammock quilt, you can pretty much use one of your own and just get one of these sheets, and then, like I say, retrofit it with some little sticky on loops and just know where your offsets are. That would be the cheap man's way of doing it. And I noticed too, they got some sort of little I guess like a draft protector here at the end of this, and it's got a little bit of a shock loop. It's got a little tie off there, but I didn't adjust that any. But this system's also got plenty of room in here for putting pillows. I just put like an inflatable pillow and a thermarest pillow in here last night, and a jacket. But they've got their own little hook area here for their own ZenBivy pillows, and you can do that. I don't lay very well flat, so I had to have several pillows, but this has a really nice really nice cavernous head box here. So yeah, that's one of the neat things about that. But I got this end of year, you know, last year's models, saved a bit. Also found some 2023 ones that were a different color for the sheets that would fit on a 20-inch pad. And so besides all this with the ZenBivy, and get back to the Durston, since it didn't have any organization on the new ones, they got like some little built-in mesh storage over here on the door area by the vestibule. But I got these off of Zpacks, and these are just stick-on And they got tape on there that connects to DCF, and you can put your little small items that aren't super heavy in there. So I just put one on that end, I put one down there on the other end, and then up here on the ridge, what I did was I got from Mountain Laurel Designs, I had some of these little stick-on DCF pads. I also got some clear DCF from them that if I needed it for patch and stuff. But they had this, and it had these two little rings. And then I bought something, I don't remember if it was with this setup, but it was a big piece of shot cord. I didn't really need it, but I had like 8 of these hooks. So I took these hooks, and then I had these Gossamer Gear lofts that they were like selling real cheap at the time, about a year ago. And I bought these, and so they just got a little toggle. I just toggled them through the loop up there, and now I've got a ridgeline organizer. So if I got tiny things like gloves, or you know, I want to put my headlamp or something up there and shine it down in the night, I could do something like that. Likewise with these hooks and these loops, if you wanted to put like a piece of shot cord there that you want to hang stuff for like drying your socks or whatnot, you could do that. So that's kind of a neat little add-on that I put on here, and we'll see over time how well this sticks, but as long as you don't overload it, it should be okay. But yeah, that's just kind of neat. Give yourself some extra storage there. But the ZenBivy, when I was trying that out last night, if you hook all those together, I did on the one side. On the other side, I just hooked a couple of them. And then a little later in the night, I went ahead and hooked at least another one, but I left one open. Now, if you're a side sleeper or you roll around a lot, you may want to keep those all buttoned up. They're not too hard to take off. I took them off this morning. About 4 o'clock, I had to really go pee. So it was chilly last night. It got down to probably 40 in the middle of the night. And I mean, I was out here with just basically a long sleeve shirt. Actually, it was a hoodie. That's what I was wearing. Had a hoodie and had the hat on it, the hood on, and you know, I was more than warm enough. Actually, I was sweating in this thing because this down one's rated for 10, and I woke up in like a pile of sweat. So I'm like, yeah, I had to go pee real bad. So I got up and did what I needed to do, but this thing was just soaking in sweat from me, and my sinuses don't do too great when I'm laying like super flat. So I went in, just kind of like got some water and tried to rest a little bit sitting up, just because everything in my head was just draining, and all the tree pollen doesn't help that either. So but overall, as a system, I wanted to try one of these for a while just to see, you know, what the gimmick and, you know, the raving is all about. And no, it's not bad. It's a pricey system, I'm not gonna lie about that. But if you get them end of the year, you get the discounts and stuff, you know, you buy it piece by piece, put the stuff together smartly, you can save a few nickels here and there on this. Like I say, if you want to do a modification to your own quilts, to just buy that undersheet and put that on your pads, you know, you can get them in 20, 25, and 30-inch widths for whatever kind of pads you need. You know, my cheap little Thermarests are 20s. These Nemo tensors, and I got some Big Agnes and some others that are 25-inch width, which is kind of going to standard nowadays. And then I got my X-Ped 9s for the winter, which are 30-inch width. And, you know, you just get a few of those and you can customize and just swap that out, and all you need is just one quilt for the top, and, you know, you're golden. And with this too, it kind of gives you a little something underneath you, so that way you're not like sleeping on just a plastic feeling kind of pad. So it is extra weight, so there are pros and cons to this, depending if you're a car camper, an ultralight backpacker, you know, whatever your, you know, shtick is, I guess, and how you camp. You know, there's good and bad to all these systems, but weight wise, it's not too bad compared to other items out there. You can usually get these in 25-degree and 10-degree Fahrenheit increments for this stuff. And like I said, I just wanted it for like the wintertime use, so that way it's more sealed up, because I roll around a lot side to side, and I usually use sleeping bags in the winter as opposed to quilts when I'm camping in an actual tent. But I thought, yeah, I'll give this a try and just see how this works, and maybe try it out with some others too. So you know, you can get different, like I say, different quilts and just do that loop system if you want, or just set the stuff loosely on top. They do have a quilt that also is more like a lay flat for the warmer months, but it really depends how you sleep, but it gives you that kind of tucked in bed feeling. So I get a little bit of, you know, what they were raving about on that. You know, it's not a bad system, but if you want to check it out, go forth. And yeah, and likewise, some of this stuff with the Durston add-ons that I put on here, like I say, Zpacks, Mountain Laurel Designs, Gossamer Gear, places like that. Just go into their accessory pages, and you'll find these little knickknacks that you can add on for your tents and stuff, if you've got a shelter that doesn't already have a lot of gear storage options. And just go forth and enjoy. And just to show you, yeah, you can put a little bit of weight in there. So like I say, you can have your headlamp shining down for red night light. You can put your keys and little things in there. You could even put your phone up in there if you want. Have a little movie playing or whatnot. You know, if you have this situated in the right pocket, you can view it pretty nice from wherever you're angled at. And, you know, have fun time watching a movie at night, hands free. Well, everybody, if you like what you've seen, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff, and catch you again in the outdoors. As always, thanks for watching.